Hello, my name is Sita Reed. I'm going to talk to you today about affirmations. Yogananda, when he came to the United States, you may have heard Davey saying a little earlier this morning that he really was able to tune into the Western consciousness. He came from India, where the way of practicing yoga was, I would say, more meditative. And once he got here and tuned into the American consciousness, he realized he had to do things to enable Americans to tune into these teachings. And so one of the first things he created were affirmations. And a second thing he did were energization exercises, because he knew that Americans really needed to move and they needed to feel what was going on. They couldn't just sit. And so I think that by thinking about that, I realized that really Yogananda was probably the first personal trainer and a coach. He was really, in his own right, he was a psychologist, because he understood human nature at its very deepest point. It's our soul nature, actually. And so he created lots and lots of affirmations. I'm going to be referencing my phone because a funny thing happened earlier. My notes disappeared. And so I had to sit down and recreate my notes on my phone. And it was the greatest exercise because they're very condensed. And I think I really understand what I was saying much better. So the reason he created affirmations is because he understood that what happens to us is that we get our minds into a loop. We think the same. In fact, there have been scientific studies now that show that an average human being, actually thinks somewhere between 60 and 90,000 thoughts a day. We're just nothing but a thought machine, thinking one thought after the next. So our minds are very, very busy. And of course, we have trouble when we want to sit down and meditate, because we're thinking all these 90,000 thoughts. The other thing that these social scientists discovered was that if you are thinking a thought today, you probably had the very same thought yesterday. Somewhere around 90% of those thoughts are the same ones you thought yesterday. And so we tend to, do the same things over and over again. We get up in the morning, we always use our right hand to brush our teeth. We have the same thing for breakfast that we had the day before. We get in the car, we drive the same route to work. And I can tell you that there was a time in my life when I was doing that very thing, and I realized at some point I would get to the same corner on my way to work. And it took me months to realize what was going on with my mind, but I would get to the same corner and go, oh no, I have to move all those boxes today. That's going to be a big deal. I'm going to be so tired by the end of the day. And finally, one day I realized, I don't have to think that. I can affirm energy. I can affirm joy and strength, because I've learned that from these teachings. And so I was able to turn that around, and that is the value of affirmation. We can work with our minds. We don't have to be victims of our minds. Most people think they are their minds, but we are not our minds. We are a soul. So I wanted to just tell you a few other facts. Master said that the way to work with affirmations is to, first of all, work with your mind. And he said that really the mind has three parts. There is the conscious mind, then there is the subconscious mind, and then there is the superconscious mind. And when we work with affirmations, we want to access all three parts of our minds in order to really understand and engage with the affirmation and really change ourselves. Many people don't understand that you can change yourself. You can change your physiology by using affirmations, because your physiology is determined by the thoughts you think. Every time you think a thought, your brain creates a chemical. There's always a corresponding chemical. And in addition to that, there is an electrical charge that happens with every single thought you think. And so we are always creating these chemicals and these electrical movements in the brain, then we can create our own reality by shifting our thoughts and moving from thoughts of depression or anxiety or any kind of negative thought to thoughts that are positive and uplifting. So this is the technique. He said, first of all, I love this quote. He said, "Free the mind from all disturbing thoughts and fill it with poise and joy." That's a directive from Yogananda himself. I'll repeat it. Free the mind from all disturbing thoughts and fill it with poise and joy. So there it is, right there. There's our permission. We don't have to be depressed. We don't have to think those negative thoughts about ourselves. We don't have to get to a certain corner and go, oh no. We have been told by our guru to free our mind from these thoughts. So he says we're going to work with the mind in 3 ways. If I can find that exact quote. He says that words that are saturated with sincerity, conviction, faith, and intuition are like highly explosive vibration bombs, which, when set off, shatter the rocks of difficulties and create the change desired. You can see how well he tuned into the American consciousness by using a word like bomb. So to get ourselves out of this loop, reactive process loop that we get into with our minds, we work on the 3 parts of the mind. And I'm going to see if I can find this other quote where he talks about the 3 parts. Here it is. As you utter affirmations, always believe that you are using your own but God-given powers to heal yourself. Use your will, use your emotions, and use your reason to solve all difficult problems in your life. A balance should be struck between the medieval idea of wholly depending on God and the modern way of soul dependence on the ego. In other words, we use our ego to move us forward, to give us the determination to change ourselves, but we also can call on help from above. So the first thing that we want to do when we engage the mind in affirmations is we want to engage the conscious mind. And that is the part where he says, use your reason. He said will, emotion, reason. He said, use your reason. So we want to say these affirmations out loud, and we want to say them out loud so that we can really understand them, really engage the intellect, the thinking part of ourselves. And then the second thing we want to do is we want to engage the subconscious part of the mind, which is the feeling part of the mind, where the emotions are stored. And it reminds me of a book. We used to have a bookstore, and in the store we sold the book fairly frequently. It was called You Do Not Have the Luxury of a Negative Thought. You cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. And that's because negative thoughts cause us to have these negative emotions. Negative emotions make us sick. And the book was all about how to cure yourself from cancer. So the third part of the mind is the superconscious mind. And that part of the mind is where the will comes in. We use our God-given willpower. In fact, right now I'm reading a book called Willpower, the Forgotten Source of Human Energy. I think I have the subtitle slightly wrong, but the name of the book is Willpower, and I highly recommend it. So I think we're going to dive right in and practice these affirmations using the 3 parts of our minds. So the way that we do that is we begin by saying these affirmations out loud to engage our conscious mind, and then we move to a softer voice, and the softer voice to engage the subconscious mind that's keeping track of everything and is feeling the emotion of the affirmation. And then the third part of it is we move into a mental or not moving our lips or tongue or anything, and we just recite mentally the affirmation so that it really goes in to the superconscious mind. So the first affirmation, I've got lots here that I'd love for us to do, but let me get a grasp on the time first. There are some other tips that I'm going to give you about how to do these affirmations. For example, there's a certain time of the day to do them, and there's a certain length of time in which to do them, and that varies from person to person. Affirm just before sleep, just after you wake up, or sometime around your meditation, just before, perhaps in the middle of doing a certain meditation practice, or at the very end of your meditation. But we'll focus for the first part of this now on working with the three parts of our mind. So to begin working with our conscious mind, we need breath. So let's just all sit upright for a moment, and we'll do just one or two pranayamas to wake up our minds, wake up our bodies. Sit upright. You don't need to close your eyes, but you can if you wish. And we're going to just put our lips together and exhale through our nostrils. And now inhale through your nostrils. And exhale. Once again, inhale. Exhale. Let's see if we can extend it. Inhale. Exhale. Once again, inhale. Exhale. And now let's try once more. We'll do it 3 more times, but this time we're going to hold our breath at the top of the inhalation. Let's try it again. Inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. And this last time, you do it yourself. Inhale and hold and exhale to your own count. Now we're ready to do our first affirmation, which is a very short one. I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic.
I am positive, energetic, and enthusiastic.
Now sit upright even more. See if you can straighten your spine and lengthen your neck. Feel the top of your head rising up. Take a really deep breath and say, I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic.
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 And once more, I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic.
I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic.
And now just sit with that for a moment and engage your intellect. What is it? What does it mean to be positive, energetic, enthusiastic, all at once? How would you be if you really were positive, energetic, and enthusiastic right this minute? Would you be sitting even taller? Would you be breathing more deeply? Would you have a smile on your face? What is it? How do you manifest being positive, energetic, enthusiastic? Think how you would feel now. And let's say it more as a whisper. I am positive. I am energetic. I am enthusiastic. Whisper it. I am positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. Feel the feelings of being positive, energetic, enthusiastic. I am positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. Yes, I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic. We are doing it as a whisper to engage the subconscious mind, which is recording every feeling. And just sit with that for a moment and feel the feelings that are engaged. Now let's take it into this superconscious mind by focusing our eyes, keeping your eyes closed and focusing your gaze, spiritual eye, the point between the eyebrows. This is where we can access the seat of superconsciousness, our soul nature, our divine self. And this is where we can engage with the Guru, with God. And mentally say, without moving your lips, I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic. I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic. I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic. This is my soul nature. This is my true self. That first one we just did about being positive, energetic, and enthusiastic is really a good one to engage the conscious mind and to move your energy. Now, some affirmations are also good for relaxation, and that's where we want to work with the subconscious mind, the feeling nature. And Yogananda created a beautiful affirmation for relaxation and tuning into the feeling nature. And it goes like this. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me as perfect love, peace, and wisdom. Now, when I first read that, that was a really tall order. The relaxed part, I could relax. But then expressing myself as perfect love, peace, and wisdom was really a big leap for me. And I worked with this affirmation for many, many years. And I'm not saying that I'm perfected in it, but gradually my conscious mind came to accept what my subconscious mind was saying. If you say an affirmation over and over and over again, your subconscious mind takes note, it records it, it never forgets it, it's in there somewhere, and it will come out when you need it. So let's practice this one together and see if you can work your way into it as well. I relax, and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me as perfect love, peace, and wisdom. Let's say it again, only with a little more enthusiasm. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Allowing God to express through me as perfect love, peace, and wisdom. Let's say it once more, really engaging your mind to try to understand all the implications for this affirmation. For example, allowing God? You mean I have to give God permission to express through me? I mean, when you really start thinking about these affirmations of Yogananda's, they're deep and they have far-reaching implications for us. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Allowing God to express through me as perfect love, peace, and wisdom. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Allowing God to express through me as perfect love, peace, and wisdom. So now, when we've said it out loud 3 or 4 times and we have engaged our conscious mind and we have got a pretty good grasp on what the meaning is, now let's take it into the subconscious mind and work with the feeling part of our natures. How does it feel when you relax and cast aside all mental burdens? I like to picture, and the subconscious mind loves pictures, I like to picture myself at the end of the day taking off my heavy backpack and slinging it to the ground. I'm done for the day, I can relax. And in that backpack are all my mental burdens. So I don't need to think about them anymore. I'm going to meditate now, I'm going to relax the rest of the evening. That's the image that I get. And yours may be very different, but something like that is how we engage our feeling nature, our subconscious mind. So I encourage you to create a picture in your mind.